when I first smelled this fragrance, the quote or proverb that came to mind was an iron fist in a velvet glove. Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And I was tagged by my brother Gerald over at Swain Swaggy Scents. And the theme of this video is going to be a full fragrance wardrobe, one for the day, one for the night, with 3 different outfits for 3 different days and 3 different nights. So we've got 6 fragrances total, starting off with the first one, Prada Infusion de Iris Cedre, for the first daytime fragrance. So this is a take in the same vein as Prada Homme. You still get that soapy iris feel done in a Prada degree of luxury and excellence. However, this one really dials back the sweetness and the powderiness that is present in the Prada Homme line. This one is a little bit more grown up, a little bit less youthful, but I think more classy because of the increased woody facet that this one has and the lack of sweetness and powderiness. This just has the actual scent of a luxury hotel soap minus any of the other frills that might come along with some of the other Prada fragrances. This is unisex, but I think leans a little bit more masculine because of the woody facets in here, and a true chic gentleman's cologne for the daytime. And to pair this one up with for the nighttime, Homme de Kiran Le Soir, another iris fragrance to keep in tune with the overall wardrobe that the day and night presence of this combination is bringing to the table. So this one is very similar to something that you would get with a normal men's iris fragrance. You've got some warmer notes with some sweetness. This one, however, keeps a signature vanilla that the House of Caron is known for, of which this is a flanker, and this also adds a very rich, masculine, majestic, and ancient feeling oak. So there's a certain degree of, I want to say, nobility that's coming through with this fragrance in terms of the almost purple feel that it gives off with the combination of lavender as well as the iris, and then the oak in here just has this extremely polished feel to it, a nice rugged masculine appeal but in a cleaned up fashion. And so I think this is a great fragrance for the nighttime, very clean, elegant, chic, and upscale, and a perfect combination to go with Prada's Infusion de Iris Cedre. This is going to be the daytime fragrance for the more mature and serious man, maybe business-minded, entrepreneurial, or just a serious person, perhaps in their 40s. This is going to be Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. Now, all 3 of these fragrance wardrobes are going to be great for year-round. I think the freshies and the daytime choices that I made in this list are going to perform well in the wintertime. The vetiver in here is going to allow this to keep a certain degree of richness that's making it perfect for year-round wear. And so even though this, I think, is a little bit more of a citric fragrance than a vetiver, it is a vetiver at heart, and it's very light, easy to wear, and inoffensive. So usually vetiver, perhaps like Guerlain's Vetiver, if you're familiar with that fragrance, can be a little bit challenging, a little bit dirty feeling, a little bit too earthy. This one just does it with class and just is something that you're going to be able to get away with in close quarters and still feel excellent, clean, serious, professional, and somebody to be taken seriously. And so the perfect combination with Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver for the evening is one that when I first smelled this fragrance, the quote or proverb that came to mind was an iron fist in a velvet glove, which I believe was coined by Napoleon, as it was his emphasis on the degree of progress one can make in terms of being determined and goal-oriented if you can have a pleasant demeanor, and how much that can help you forward. And so the reason that that quote came to mind with this fragrance, which is Chanel's Antaeus, is because this has a very old school 80s powerhouse basic composition. You've got that oak moss in there. There's a little bit of an animalic touch, some herbal qualities in here, such as sage, which these two fragrances share both oak moss and sage, making them apt for that more serious, grown-up, mature, old-school vibe. However, this has a little bit of sweetness coming in. There's no honey listed in here. I think the vintage formulations had honey, and I do get a little bit of a honey vibe, but it's really got a rich sort of sweetness coming in from a myrrh. This is dominantly a myrrh-based fragrance, and so it's nice and dark, but then the thing that saves it and adds that velvet glove quality to an otherwise iron fist is this rose that blossoms slowly over time and just makes this an immaculate composition, perfect for the nighttime. And also the Chanel aldehydic airy qualities, that pillowy, soft touch of airiness is also present here alongside the rose, making this a powerhouse fragrance that is just soft to the touch in some sense, and I think a perfect nighttime companion to Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. And finally, the last outfit that we have here is two cheapies. However, they're both very sophisticated, clean, and cold fragrances. They each have a certain mint quality in here, which is going to tie them together to make a harmonious wardrobe between day and night. But they each have this very clean, powdery, cold, sterile quality to them. However, one of them is very dark and apt for the nighttime. The other one's perfect for year-round wear during the day. So the first one here, despite being a cheapie, was actually perfumed by Francis Kirkjohn, and this is Carven Low Intense. And I got mine from Scented Monkey on eBay. I believe they still have some in stock, but I think Fragrance X has testers of these for like $25 or so right now. And as I said, it's a little bit powdery, a really strong lavender and a strong mint with this very fizzy, effervescent, sparkly citrus quality in here. A really stunning fragrance for the spring and summertime, but the mint in here and the lavender give it enough powdery coldness that I think this is great for those really dry, arid winter days where the snow's almost so thin and the air is so thin and it's like powdery and wisping around. You can't even pack it into a snowball because it's so dusty. This is great for those types of environments, and it kind of captures that landscape in a bottle to some degree, which is why it's great for cooling off in the warmer weather as well. And like I said, perfumed by Francis Kirkjohn, so you know you're getting a masterful nose behind the composition here. And I just think this is very classy, clean cut, and perfect for the office as well as a daily wear. So my daytime pick for day 3 is going to be Carven Low Intense. And finally, to pair up with that one is going to be what I believe is discontinued. I think the whole brand is going through a lot of discontinuations. Most of them are getting harder to find and drying up at the discounters, so keep an eye out on this one. Maybe grab it before it disappears. From the same people who brought Poker Face, which has now been dried up and lost to time. This is Black Soul Imperial from Ted Lapidus. So again, mint is going to be the tie-in factor with this one alongside of the Carven Low Intense, and they both have that very clean-cut, cold, and professional air about it. However, this one is dark, very serious, very difficult to pull off. I would say there's a coffee note in here and almost like a little bit of a leathery quality that really makes this it's very rich though. It almost has like a 1 Million style sweetness that's darkened up intensely with coffee, and then this very cold, cool mint. Now the mint and coffee combination is a little bit difficult to warm up to, I would say. This was a hate at first sniff, but it's grown into a love very easily over time, and this is one of my favorite grabs for the winter during those cold, dark days where there's little sunlight going on. This warms me up in the morning when I'm having my coffee because it's got that coffee vibe to it as well when it's still dark outside early. And then this is also a great one for nighttime because it works in date situations because of the rich denseness in here, but it's also very clean and cold. So this is my winning combination for a wardrobe for day 3, day and night: Carven Low Intense and Black Soul Imperial. So those were my 3 days and 3 nights fragrances. I think all 6 of these are perfect fragrances for anyone to add to their collection, especially given the price to value ratio on all of them. There's a couple of higher end designers, some mid-tier designers, and some cheapies. So there's a little bit here for everybody. If you're interested in any of these, do some due diligence, check it out on Fragrantica and Parfumo, and then, you know, maybe look into picking them up for 2024 moving forward. So again, thank you, Gerald, for tagging me in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this as an open tag. I do believe I'm gonna go ahead and try to tag Fragrance Fraternity and Bro Sense, however, so I'll link them in the description of the video down below as well. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.